covered in the last 30 minutes was incredibly important. So Roger's about to reveal to you exclusive information, something he rarely does. He doesn't kiss and tell, but he's dialed in. And so over a month ago, my source, separate from Roger, was in a cabinet meeting with Susie Wiles, empowered by Trump with his task force and the executive orders, 6-8 months ago, whatever it was, to go out and look at everything that they already had. And it proved everything that people like Giuliani was saying and so many others, all that, U.S. postal workers coming into Pennsylvania, and they're sitting there 7 hours with all these other trucks waiting. Why are we here? So the guy's a postal inspector. He can look at the mail legally. He goes and opens it. And it's all filled out for Joe Biden. He blows the whistle after the election. The FBI comes and threatens him. That's just one little piece. China shipping in ballots all filled out for Joe Biden. 1 a.m., closing down the polling places, covering up the windows. In come the trucks. The dead people voting, the making shorter ballots in Republican districts in Houston and Maricopa County, Phoenix. All of it. And so you have the Director of National Intelligence tasked with this. She's done her job, exposed so much, it's incredible. She doesn't get the attention it should on Crossfire Hurricane and Arctic Frost, all the espionage, the election fraud. So I started talking to Roger about a month ago. I said, hey, this is what I heard. And I heard you were there. And Roger's like, yeah, I can't talk about this right now, but they're going to get a report out, hopefully early next year. But yeah, I was, and so Roger wouldn't talk about it. So I had Roger on about other issues today, but I was trying to get him on the last few weeks about this, but I got distracted. And then he's like, now let's go back to this. And then during the break, he said, no, I'm ready to tell some of it. So this is exclusive. You saw Trump just a week and a half ago say, oh, we got truckloads. It's horrible. It's worse than you know. In fact, we'll play the clip right now, so I don't paraphrase him. This is ultra mega massive, ladies and gentlemen. So this is such a huge story, because if we don't secure this, it doesn't matter if he gets a landslide. This is so important. Here's President Trump.
That's all they're good at cheating in elections, very good at cheating. They're professionals at cheating, because we won in 2016 by a lot. The election was rigged in 2020. We have all the ammunition, all the stuff, and you'll see it come out. It's coming out in truckloads. And California's election, New York also, but California more than any other place is so rigged. It's such a rigged election. We won the Hispanic vote. So a lot of people say Republican wouldn't win California, but I won the Hispanic vote. I won in Miami. Think of that. In Miami, I won the Hispanic vote. Along the Texas border, I won every single city or town touching the Texas border, and they're 85 to 90% Hispanic. We won the Hispanic vote. If the vote in California was legitimate, which it's not, they have 38 million ballots. Everything is mail-in voting. They mail out 38 million ballots, and they come in. Where the hell do they go, and where do they come from? It's a rigged election in California, because we would win California by a lot. And again, they feel they have the advantage with Hispanic. They don't.
And in Minnesota and in California, where they now admit in congressional, in state legislative hearings, no, we let illegals vote. So this fact is coming out. Now Roger's ready to talk about this. What was it, 6-7 months ago, Trump signed this task force, and it's all going on. And I know Lindell has been heavily involved. He confirmed on air. He said, no, it's good. A few weeks ago, he said, it's bad. It's coming out. So what's the time frame? Start at the beginning, Roger, about what's going on, why elections obviously are so important, and what we should see when this comes out, because this is going to be a game changer.
I think it's important that people understand the background. So people in the election integrity community and other patriots who have technical backgrounds arranged to show Susie Wiles absolute indisputable proof that both the Venezuelans and the Chinese have manipulated voting machines to interfere in our elections. That's without even getting into paper ballots. It was her decision to take them to the president. It was her recommendation to the president that he approve her plan to appoint a working group under Tulsi Gabbard, but including others from other important agencies, to examine all the evidence and come back with a report. Now, we know from sources that working group has already seen the evidence of both Venezuelan involvement, communist Chinese involvement, and online manipulation of numbers. And that's before we know what they conclude about mail-in ballots, because they're still continuing their work. But the important thing here is not just proving what happened in 2020 and probably 2026 to a certain extent, but being sure that it does not happen again. And therefore, the president's, I think, menu, which is correct, paper ballots like they have in France. If the French can count 38 million paper ballots in one day, surely Americans can. Voting on one day. Yes, we have absentee voting, but you have to have a reason, like it has always been, a disability, work out of town, military service, in which case you should be voting with a military ballot. But these voting 3 weeks after the elections is not, we cannot let that continue. The abuses of mail-in votings have to be addressed.
Well, Roger, that's what I was going to say is, just interrupt. He's got to stop wars. He's got to secure the border. He's got to take on the Federal Reserve and win. He's literally fighting this giant hydra, and energy's down, and inflation is slowed, and housing prices are dropping the first time in 30 years or more. So people say, well, wait, one day you're mad at Trump. Well, that's when people in his administration do something wrong. I'm putting pressure on the next. It's like a football coach is happy when we just want to play. When we have a bad play, I'm yelling at the team. I mean, I'm not saying I'm the boss, but I'm the constituent. That's what I'm doing. But this is so epic because I talked to people that were in those meetings as well. And like you said, the thing with China and the chips, the cell phone activation systems, brought out of China, put it in Taiwan, shipped to Venezuela, multiple companies. That's confirmed. That's coming out. Gabbard has already released things saying they're about to release the proof of this. That scares the hell out of them. But then you've got all the other fraud going on in Act Blue and everything else. What is the effect of this? Well, do we have any idea? I was told by Lindell, and I heard this too from my source at the White House, yours are better, that sometime in January, Lindell, when I said this, said, yeah, that's what I'm told. What is the time frame when this evidence is put out?
Well, I'm not sure that Mike Lindell knows, but I think there's a key point here, Alex, and that is that we can have the greatest policies in the world. If we do not fix this, really nothing else matters. And let's be clear, once it is made absolutely, it's released and it's verifiable and undisputed, the mainstream media will do everything humanly possible to discredit it, as they did the long coming declassified documents that prove beyond any shadow of doubt that Barack Obama and Joe Biden and Susan Rice and CIA Director John Brennan, particularly, FBI Director Comey, National Director of Intelligence Clapper, Rod Rosenstein, the acting Attorney General, Robert Mueller, the special counsel, Andrew Weissman, his hatchet man.
Or a conspiracy against the American people.
Norm Eisen, Mary McCord, and all that. These people were involved in a seditious conspiracy against the United States. And it's a seditious conspiracy that begins in 2016-17. It's kicked off with the White House meeting in which Barack Obama himself is in the chair. He's given it an intelligence assessment that is cooked. We know it was a fraud.
And Gabbard's already, we knew this at the time and exposed it. We know the names, the programs. She's now released documents proving it. Why don't we get prosecutions? That ties into Bongino. Well, I don't think he's a bad guy.
That's exactly where it goes, Alex, which is, I think, the third leg of the stool. The people in the president's base, we don't want retaliation or revenge. That is not what this is about. This is about accountability and justice. People who broke the law and the Constitution in their manic desire to destroy Donald Trump, to keep him off the ballot, to bankrupt him, to shoot and kill him, these people have to be held accountable.
And it's not just about justice. You get a murderer off the street for justice, but also so they can't do it again. Ladies and gentlemen, Nitric Boost, the all-time fan favorite, is now back in stock.